Hello class. My name's Arnaldo Ramos, and I'm going to be discussing Chapter 5, which is communicating with words. So, the meaning behind our words is very important when communicating interpersonally. Depending on what we say, how we say it, the meaning placed behind those words can affect whether the person we are speaking with will take it positively or negatively. It also affects the other's person's ability to accurately understand the message we're trying to convey. And in chapter 5, it goes over many concepts um, and theories, including but not limited to distinguishing language with pragmatic, semantic, and syntactic codes, the triangle of meaning, and connotative and denotative meaning. Now, the biggest takeaway that I have from chapter 5 is the meaning and understanding of our words matters. Because of this, the most important concepts you should take away are semantic code, denotative and connotative meaning, and bypassing and equivocal language. So the semantic code, what is it? The semantic code is defined as the agreement to use the same symbols to communicate. So if I call a bar and I ask, how's the vibe at the bar today? And the worker replies, it's lit. Well, I could take this to mean maybe two different ways. So I can take it with a connotative meaning, which means it's good and everyone is having a good time. Or I can take it with the denotative meaning and I could think the bar's on fire and I'll end up calling 911. So in one case, we're in agreement and understand each other, and in the other case, we have a semantic barrier because we do not agree on what lit means. It is important to establish a semantic code so we can have a clear understanding when communicating interpersonally. So denotative meaning is defined as the dictionary meaning of a word. This should be the standard when creating a semantic code between speakers of a given language. However, words can have more than one denotation, which can cause confusion. Movement, as in moving an object, does not mean the same thing as a watch movement, for example, which refers to all the mechanical components and electrical components that make a wristwatch work. Both of these definitions are correct, yet depending on the context could mean two totally different things. The second meaning a word can have is connotative meaning, which is defined as a subjective personal meaning. This is where the risk for semantic barriers greatly increases. This is due to the fact that there's limitless numbers of connotative meanings that a word can have, due to the fact that everyone has different life experiences, and this is what affects connotative meaning. These experiences allow us to give personal meaning to words. So, for example, the Spanish word coger means different things depending on if it's said in Mexico versus Spain. If I say el pepino se cayó, voy a coger el pepino, a Spaniard would think that a Spaniard would think that I said the cucumber fell, I'm going to pick up the cucumber. Now, if I said this in Mexico, it would be a completely different meaning. It would mean the cucumber fell, I'm going to have sex with the cucumber, which would clearly cause a lot of confusion and questionable faces towards you if you were to say this in Mexico. So, cultural experiences affect the meaning of the word coger, which makes that in one situation I'm clearly understood, while in the other one, the other person is left confused. So, connotative meaning can also cause dangerous consequences. The denotative meaning of the word fag includes a tiring or unwelcome task, a gay man, or a cigarette. So, in an interview with Arsenio Hall, Tyler the Creator, a famous rapper, said, and I quote, "That's just a word. You could take the power out of that word. The way I see it, you choose to be offended if you care about stuff like that. Frank's gay." That's Tyler the Creator's friend. "I use that word all the time. He doesn't care. He knows me. He knows when I say that word, I'm not thinking of someone's sexual orientation. It's just another word that has no meaning." End quote. So to Tyler the Creator, this word has no meaning, according to his life experiences. Now, has, let's say another person has the connotative meaning that it is a gay slur, and Tyler the Creator says this word to him. Now, what if this person has heard that word their whole life and considers it to be an insult, and Tyler said it to this person, and it's the last straw for this person, and so they decide to commit suicide? So, because of connotative meaning, he would have caused someone's death with a word that has no meaning to him. This is the reason why meaning is so important when communicating interpersonally, because it can have serious consequences. So, bypassing is a problem that happens when individuals think they understand each other, but actually don't, because of equivocal language, which is words that may be interpreted in more than one way. Going back to the last example, the connotative meaning behind the F word makes it equivocal language. This could cause bypassing to occur. So let's say Tyler did use the F word towards the gay man. Without clarification, the man would never know that to Tyler this word has no meaning and he didn't mean it as an insult. But if he had clarified, he might have not been offended. Maybe he would have, but maybe not. And maybe he wouldn't have committed suicide. So this is an extreme case, but it highlights the dangers of bypassing. So the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis says that language influences perception by revealing and reflecting one's worldviews. Language is determined by the perceived reality of a culture. So recently I've noticed in English media that when referring to people of Latin American countries, they have started to say Latin X instead of Latino. And every Latino that I know still says Latinx. Why is that? Well, in Spanish, every word has a gender, and it's not about being inclusive. That's just the way the language is structured. For example, the day, el día, is masculine, la cama, the bed, is feminine, but it carries no meaning towards being inclusive. So in the English speaker's perception of the word Latino, they see it as excluding Latin women, and they prefer to say Latinx. But the Spanish speaker's perception is that the word Latino is inclusive of all Latin people, and that it is just the way Spanish is grammatically structured. So, as you can see in this example, language affects our perception of reality. So, in one's reality, the word Latino is not being inclusive to both genders, but in the other's perception, it is inclusive. So, so this is how you can can improve your communication. So remember to be mindful that words have many meanings. Your meaning of words might not be the same as someone else's. Someone else's meaning. It is important to clarify meaning to avoid confusion and problems. Your perception of reality is not the same as another person's. And like Tyler said, you have the power to give and take meaning from words. All right, that's the end of my presentation. Thank you guys, and I hope you guys get good grades on the rest of your classes. I'll see you all next semester.